Right, there we go. Hi, everybody. I'm Teresa, the Feast Coordinator, West Norwood Feast Coordinator, and I'm here with the members of the SE27 Mutual Aid Group, Kira, Emma and Steve. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and then I'm going to ask them some questions so we can find out a bit more about what the Mutual Aid Group is, what they're trying to achieve and how people can get involved. So if you want to say hello and introduce yourselves, that'd be great.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm one of the coordinators. There's three of us.
I'm Kira.
I'm Emma, another coordinator.
Thank you. So you can choose who wants to answer the questions, but first of all, could you tell us a bit about the local mutual aid group, how it got started, who's involved and what you're trying to achieve?
That's a big question. I can start with how we started, if you like. It started when, I think, just before lockdown. I think there was a sense of rising tension. We saw what was happening in Italy, and we didn't know each other, by the way. I was looking online. I found Kira put her name down for somebody who wanted to set up a group. Within, I don't know, 5 minutes, practically, we'd set up a WhatsApp group, and Emma was part of that team straight away. So, and it grew from 6 to 40. I remember saying to Emma and Kira that, you know, this is amazing. It's grown to 40. It was 100 by the next day, and it was 500 by the end of the week. So we started by meeting we designed a flyer. We thought the main thing is to get people, to get volunteers, to get the word out so that people wouldn't feel isolated. And so we met outside the cemetery. It had unfortunate symbolism, but we ignored that, and we tried to stand sort of 2 meters apart. And there were 20 people putting flyers down West Norwood High Street. And that was really how it began. And then, as we realised as we went along, there were a lot of problems to solve. But the main thing was that people knew that we were there.
Fantastic, thank you. Kira or Emma, do you want to say any more about that?
Kira,
Can I? Thanks, Emma. Thanks. No, I mean, I'll just echo what Steve said. I think it was the thing I'll probably most remember about those early days was how much we had to learn as we went along, but mostly just the incredible response from people. And even now, people are so keen to help that whenever we put out a request for help, it's answered within seconds quite a lot of the time. And some people are a bit sad that they weren't quick enough. So that's the main thing that I take from it, really, is just people's enthusiasm.
Yeah, it was definitely echoing the learning curve thing, because it was kind of, the group started and so we were just working out, we knew how we wanted to help people, which was sort of just what you would do for your neighbour. But it was then working out sort of the ins and outs of that and making sure that we were keeping people safe at the same time. So it's just really learning as we go along. So it was a pretty intense, the first couple of weeks was really, really intense.
Sure. I mean, I think it's great to hear that you had so many volunteers, and I think West Norwood is quite a special place for people wanting to get involved and getting out there and doing things, and this just shows. So can you tell us a bit about what the volunteers have actually been doing?
Mostly, you can go, Emma, you can answer this one.
Well, I was just going to say that mostly it's sort of prescription collections is a big one that we've been doing, and essential shopping for people. So obviously people that if you're having to self-isolate, especially unexpectedly, I think one of our first requests was for cough syrup and lozenges. So just really making sure that people, if you need to self-isolate, can stay home and still get things that you need, because obviously you haven't planned for it. So that's kind of the main thing that we've been trying to do for people. That's the simplest things that we've been trying to do for people, but then there's other more complicated things that we need to do for people as well.
Sure. Have you got a specific, it might be nice for people to hear of a specific example of, you know, someone that's been helped, or you could have a think about that and we can come back to it if you like.
I think one of the interesting, well, the most with things we didn't anticipate, although we maybe dimly did, we knew that there were people falling between the cracks, and this was the danger. And one of the shocking and upsetting things, really, to us was talking to some of those people, and some of them have very significant, problems, struggling with shortage of money, electric bills, and those are people think things that we needed to refer really to other authorities, which we tried to do. But I think one of the great things that has come out of this, because we're doing it on a street community basis now, we've got 10 sort of smaller groups, is the buddying system. Because obviously if someone's vulnerable and isolating now, they're going to want shopping again in 2 weeks. So we've sort of paired people up through the groups so that they have a relationship which is ongoing. And I think that's been a real positive, because if you just ring an anonymous helpline, you're just going to have to do that again. Whereas what we've inadvertently set up, I think, is a relationship between people.
Yeah, and that might, could continue afterwards. So just reinforcing the community. That's fantastic. So I've received a lovely leaflet through the door, which has got details of Stay Home Feast, and our Stay Home Sunday Supper, but on the back it's got all the information about the mutual aid group. Steve, I think, have you got the leaflet there? I meant to bring it so I could hold it up, just so people, and it's gone to 10,000 households, is that right?
Yeah, it's one of the, really, we need to thank people while we do this. I mean, one is obviously Norwood Forum for helping produce this, but really it's the volunteers. I mean, as you said, we've distributed 10,000 leaflets within 2 or 3 days. It's an amazing achievement.
Incredible.
The first round of leafleting was all self-financed, with a bit of a donation actually as well from the forum. But we produced 8,000, and again, that was a lot of those were done by individuals with their home printers. It's a real testament to people power, really.
Absolutely.
Hold that up long enough, I don't know.
That's fine. I'm sure people can keep an eye out for it. So I notice on that leaflet you've launched a new helpline. Can you tell us a bit about the helpline?
It's a free phone number. So one of the things that we had flagged to us by pharmacies in particular was that for people who have home phones in particular, they can't necessarily make mobile phone calls or calls to mobile phones because it will cost them money. Because originally we just had our mobile phone numbers on there. So that's the best thing about the new number, but also it means that, it kind of forwards to all of us. So if one of us doesn't answer, you won't have to dial another number. And then if that doesn't answer, dial another number. So that's the best thing about it, really. It's a lot easier in that sense.
And is it just you three answering the phones?
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, you must be kept busy. So that's really great that it's free, yes. So, this is a really wonderful community initiative that you've led on, and you've got how many volunteers now?
Over 750 at the moment.
Incredible, fantastic. So it shows the strong community that is West Norwood, which is wonderful. But I'm sure people watching this, more people would want to get involved. So could you just tell them what they should do?
Email us. Just send an email to us with their details and we can send them the Google form that we use to build the database.
Okay, what's the email address?
It's W Norwood, so as you'd expect, W Norwood C19aid @gmail.com.
Great, and we'll put it up on all the Feast social media.
Yeah, we've got a Facebook page as well, and the form can be filled in from there as well if they wanted to find it. So I think if you just search West Norwood coronavirus support or West Norwood COVID-19, it should hopefully come up.
Great.
People are welcome to ring the number as well. It's not just directed at those who want support, which is 0208 168 7080.
Lovely, thank you. Lots of ways to get hold of you and get involved. Is there anything else that you'd like people in West Norwood to know about the mutual aid group?
We're there if you need us, for your neighbours to support you, and we'll put you in touch with someone that lives close to you. And thank you. I think we should thank everybody for what they're doing, because it isn't just the three of us. It is like a massive amount of people that are involved in this. It's just that we happen to be the three that answer the phones and pass it on, but the other people who are doing all the work and getting out and getting what is needed to the people.
That's great. Yeah.
One other thing we should possibly...
Of our smaller groups who organised their groups to do all the leafleting, that was quite a feat, and I think they all did really, really well.
Great.
I was just going to say one of the things, in case, just to reassure people, we follow protocols that, that guidelines about health, because the last thing we want to be doing is making any situation worse, so that all of the callers' details are kept secure. That's partly why we only have 3 of us, is to maintain that. And we only share them with individuals who are going to make contact. And there's guidelines about, distancing, which are really important, I think, to make sure that when we're delivering food or prescriptions, it's done safely. That's
great. People will be really pleased to hear that. Well, thank you so much. It's been really nice to meet you. And obviously, hopefully when all this is over, we can meet properly in person and you might come to feast. And yeah, we'll let everybody know what the mutual aid group's doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Teresa.